to the family of Professor George Omore Magoha, my friend Barbara, and the others, I wish just to convey my sincere condolences to this family. Just as I think you can now hear me. Okay. Good. To the family of Professor George Omore Magoha, I would like to convey my sincere condolences and the family, from my family to your family. We've had a long connection with this family. Standing next to me is my sister-in-law. She was married to my brother that I come after in Bath. And she's a cousin to George Omore Magoha. Now, the long relationship did not just start with her. I think Pauline Magoha, now Pauline Dollar, that was my student. The others, Joe was an administration in my home. So I know the family very well. Now it is sad that we are losing George at this time when he's just at the prime of his life. In fact, this is the time that George was really coming out as the best. And then death, without warning, decided to take him away. Jodalawa, Jogame, Wuntie, and bende anyar game. Anyar ukaya Buckingham Palace ka. Omioka biroka, literally, a biro yuago wadwa. To wago most nijo game, to giji duto, and particularly those in the education sector, because the foundation that he put in the education center is very strong, and I hope it will be followed to the latter. Now, Okado Achomangeng, we just pray to God, may the Lord God rest his soul in eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of another colleague of Professor Magoha. Eugene Wamalwa is with us here. Let's give him a clap. Thank you. Then there's Vice Chancellor Rasom Tum of Mombasa University. He also joined us. There are two more members of Parliament, Dr. Nyekal from SEME and Mr. Member of Parliament Opio Wandai has also joined us. Thank you very much. I just like to make a few remarks as matter of encouragement before I ask our governor, who will in turn then invite the Prime Minister, who will in turn then invite the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya. I think at times like this, when there's no hope, sometimes, and I'm specifically addressing Dr. Michael Magoha, this is for you. There's a story. Some years ago, there was a little girl who lost both parents, and she was about 6 years old. And his uncle, a teacher, yes, okay. Sorry. I'm told there's Adipo Kwame and James Koyo, and just as a matter of protocol, we'll have Governor of Siaya speak. After that will be Honorable C.S. Owalo, who will read the President's speech. Then after that, it will be the Prime Minister. Then after that, His Excellency the President. That is the protocol. I've just been reminded. This I want to tell my son. There was a girl who was an orphan at age 6. And her situation was completely hopeless. Mother had passed on during the childbirth of our follower during those days. And the father died shortly after for reasons not known. And she was a 6-year-old girl, and her uncle, Alphonse Ndege, found her walking in the village naked like an animal. As a girl, those days, even if you are poor, you had some panties on. But this girl was walking naked like an animal. The uncle removed his vest, put the vest on this girl, and brought that girl to the Magoha home. And that girl, no father, no mother, 6 years old, no dress, just a vest which had been lent by an uncle. And Mama Sarah made for her her first dress, because Mama Sarah knew how to sew clothes. Mama Sarah is Professor Magoha's mother. She brought up that girl, made for her clothes, gave her shelter. That girl later on got married, and out of that very desperate situation, I'm the son of that girl. So no situation can be completely hopeless. So you lost your dad, it is painful, but you can't give up hope. Professor Nyong'o is not here, but I was told he sent his message. So I'm sorry I'll not give the chance to who was supposed to read the message. You'll give the message to the family. I'm going to ask Governor, Your Excellency, James Orengo to come and make your remarks. Then I'll invite the CS ICT, Mr. Wale. Thank you.
Camaro. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to the clergy who are presiding over this important occasion for our community, because this is the last day of a great son of Siaya, Professor Magoha. To Dr. Barbara Magoha, Dr. Michael Magoha, to the 4th President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. To the People's President, Raila Amolo Odinga. Nemin Payne, Manya Game, Min Payne, Manya Game, Dr. Ida Odinga. To the county secretaries who are here, and the former county secretaries, to the deputy, to the leader of the minority in the National Assembly, and to the members of Parliament who are here, and to the County Member of Parliament, Dr. Christine Ombaka, Governor Emeritus of the great county of Kakamega, Wycliffe Ambesa Oparanya, to the Governor Emeritus of Siaya County, Woodruth Kone Rasanga. You will excuse me because I must say a word in Luo. Then I'll say the rest in English. Jothurwa wa yiko woi ma katasani wan kisunga kode. Okwan kisunga kode. Woi mokelo piny mangima igem. Donge uneno? Mogolo Uhuru Kenyatta miluongo ni Uhuru Kenyatta ni maliel moko bare. Dengo uneno Uhuru Kenyatta ka. To kendo okelo jatendwa miluongo ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Omiyo ma okendiel aliela okadho ka. Okendiel aliela okadho ka. Omiyo akwau konde mu ae luoruru mineu. Luoruru mineu. Min Magoha manonyuolo Magoha moyiko bieche igem ka. Emomiyo Magoha koro waduoko kama min mare bene oikie. Emomiyo wacho ni od meru kata chwer. Od meru kata chwer. Od meru kata chwer. Ten odu. Mane odu. Be unjo gima kelo no. Joge unjo gima kelo no. Game kae. Game onyuolo thuondi. Game onyuolo thuondi. Game ka edag somo. Wateru nyithindo somo mondo wanyuol Magoha moro. Magoha ko anono owenwa daktari bende. Mabro chiedhowa. Game onyuolo kil manokwongo e Kenya mangima. Miluongo nangi Agwenge Kodhek. To profese kopo ni bolo kidika to dipo kigo wi profesa. Omiyo game ka ki ng'ato wuondi ni nyalo wite kidi ka ji riek motamre gi nono. Mar ariyo, jothurwa, akwau nyaka wabed gi chiemo. Nyaka wabed gi chiemo e miechwa. Jaluo chon ne wacho no ka chiem dala u. Nika jaluo ne en gi chiemo. Jaluo ne en gi chiemo. Omiyo adwaro an kaka ne umiya teko nabed gavana ma Siaya. Adwaro ni kwaluo tim profesa mane jachieth kendo scholar. Wabed gi chiemo e dala. Maka welo biro kako biro ni to an gi chiemo ma omiyogi. Emomiyo sama koth dwa chwe ni koluwore gi teko ma Raila Amolo Odinga omiya, wakelo tingni e Siaya kendo tingni osedonjo i game. Tich ariyo nitie tingni manyien mabiro. Tawacho ni kitiyo gi tingano, to iyudo kodhi nono, kodhi iyudo nono. To en tinga ma pesa uwe mong'iewo. en kodhi ma pesa wemo ng'iewo. Ka tieko gi dholuo, piny ilaro. Jowa mang'eny osedhi loko alaro piny. Agwingi kodhek waiko ka. Mboya obiro iko agwingi ka, Mboya bende onindo. Uko bende onindo. Odhiambo Mbai bende onindo. Omiyo kama intie, ero wadu kaka iheri iwuon. Kik idhi kamoro mikuodhe jadalau kata ng'atu moro. Wana wacho. Ya, Dr. Buru be odonjo. Dr. Buru Oginga, Senator bende odonjo. An ing'eyo, sama koro waloso kwa chap piny. Kendo adwa jagemi wuoth kichap piny. Kijaluo tiwuoth kichap piny. Mondo wanen legacy ma Magoha wawe legacy machalo nadi. An gimomiyo amor go Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta has left a legacy. A very important legacy. If you have eyes to see, I invite you to see. If you have ears to hear, I invite you to hear. When President Uhuru Kenyatta was talking about affordable housing, I read somewhere when Uhuru Kenyatta was pronouncing himself on policies of the government of the Republic of Kenya, and he talked about affordable housing. Those who are talking about Uhuru Kenyatta, I have never heard anyone criticizing affordable housing. And affordable housing is also coming to Siaya. It's coming because there's a policy that is engraved in the constitution and in the law and in the budget of the land. And therefore I ask you, as the people of Game and the people of Nyanza, we must live in this land called Kenya, knowing that we are citizens of Kenya, that are taxpayers and are ready to play their part in the development of the Republic of Kenya. And therefore, in that regard, let us not kill what those who founded this nation, those who founded this nation. I'm afraid the way we are going, we may even kill multi-party. We may even kill multi-party. But that is a subject for another day. So, ana wachoni waikre ni tich kendo Kenya en piny moriwo ji duto te. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is under the law. We are all equal before the Lord as we are equal before the Creator. And this conversation we must continue. Therefore, I'll conclude by saying, Dr. Barbara, you came to this village coming from many miles. Let Africa not have any walls. We just, and in our this opportunity now to call upon.
One second.
Yeah, before I call the next speaker, I want the leader of the minority, Honorable Pio Wandai, to come here. Okay.
To the clergy, the family of Professor Magoha, His Excellencies Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga, fellow mourners, I'm here to join you in sending off this distinguished son of Kenya, who has indeed left great legacy that all of us are going to be proud of. It's also an occasion for us to undertake an introspection as Kenyans. That is it possible for us to continue with the good work that Magoha was doing? Or can we use this occasion to sue for unity of the country? Or can we use this occasion to reflect upon the deeds that all of us have been known for? The challenge is upon us. So I convey my condolences and the condolences of all members of the National Assembly from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. One Kenya Coalition Party. Tokati yeko. Tanyakawache kimora ben. One kakajoluo. One kakajoluo. Kotel nwa jatendwa chiel. Maen Raila Amolo Odinga. Maen Raila Amolonga. Wachung kar tiendwa. Kendo wachung gichir. Kawang'eyo ni wane buopend chike mane Raila gi osiepene mamoko kedoni. Kaka jimo wacho, wan gi nyadhi. Nikech wan ok wachiem ka ng'ato. Ok kamano. Wan ok wachiem ka ng'ato. Kendo ng'ata maparo ni sani koro siasa mar baba oduogo piny. En ng'ama leko. En ng'ama leko. Ok kamano. One solidly behind Baba. Kamonyiso wan wachome temo wadhiye. Konyiso wan left, right, about turn. Nyasaye madugwedhi erokamano ahinya.
Erokamano intellectual kora duoko microphone ni master of ceremonies osiepwa Rafael Tuju. Erokamano.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. On behalf of the family once again, I take this moment to invite CS Owalo to come and read the message of condolence from His Excellency President William Ruto. Thank you very much, CS, for coming, and we appreciate your presence here. And by the same token, I know there's going to be a vote of thanks, but we want to acknowledge the assistance that we have received from the government of Kenya. We also want to acknowledge the assistance that we received from the Prime Minister, and we want to acknowledge the assistance and kind support also we received from His Excellency, the 4th President, and all the support that we have received from current cabinet secretaries and former cabinet secretaries. Thank you, sir.
The Magoha family, led by Dr. Barbara and ably assisted by Dr. Michael, the 4th President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Mama Aida, the church, members of parliament present, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Indeed, I've known this family for close to 30 years. When I was doing my A-level studies at St. Mary's Yala here, where I was also a head student, I came to know the late Justice Masime. And by extension in the process, I also came to know the Magoha family. Mzee John Obare, who was speaking here, was a very close friend to a distinguished son of game by the name S.M. Owino Gere, who was then one of the most accomplished lawyers in this country. I did get to know Owino Ger through Mr. Obare, and when I went to Nairobi for the first time in the year 1990, the person I was living with is the late Owino Ger. So I can say or state without fear of contradiction that I owe the people of Game, and by extension the Magoha family, a great debt of gratitude. Indeed, when reports circulated in the social media that Professor Magoha had passed on, and I was alerted by one of my staff in the office, I thought it was in reference to the brother. But those reports persisted. So I did call Dr. Aluoch, who actually confirmed to me that Professor Magoha had passed on about 5 minutes before then. Subsequently, I sent a text message to President William Ruto, who was out of the country, to alert him of Professor Magoha's death. And indeed, he called me back within a couple of minutes to confirm whether it was true that Professor Magoha had actually passed on, because it was barely 2 weeks when we were with him at State House. So I confirmed the same to him, and he told me, or he instructed me to reach out to the Deputy President on his behalf to get further guidance as to how the current government and by extension cabinet could respond to that sad state of affairs. I was instructed by the Deputy President then to reach out to the family so that we could collectively become part and parcel of the preparations of that sad journey. So when I went to the family residence in Lavington, I had consultations with Dr. Barbara and son Michael and the Member of Parliament, Elisha. And they did actually make certain requests to the government, which I relayed back. And I'm happy to report that all that the Magoha asked for at that point in time by way of logistical support from the government of the Republic of Kenya indeed acceded to and went ahead to execute with precision. 2, I convey my personal condolences to the family. We have lost a great scholar. We have lost a renowned medic. We have lost an astute professional. This is not just a loss to the people of Game, but to the entire country and by extension, the global medical fraternity. Because Professor Magoha has achieved almost all that a human being can achieve in life, I would say that what we need to do today is to join the family in celebrating his life. May I now, ladies and gentlemen, with permission from the congregation, take the distinguished honor and privilege to read the message of condolences from Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. And I proceed. Message of condolence by His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, to the family of the late Professor George Omore Magoha. To Dr. Barbara Magoha, your son Dr. Michael Magoha, the extended Magoha family, and to the entire community of Umira village and Nyamninia, to the wider Nyanza family, and to the people of Kenya who are touched at a personal level by the reason we are here today. I received the sad news of the sudden passing on of Professor George Albert Omore Magoha on 24th January 2023 with total surprise and disbelief. I wanted to believe that it was fake news in the post-truth times that we live in today. I tried to wish it away as a bad dream, but it was neither fake news nor a passing bad dream. We are all, therefore, slowly coming to terms with the harsh reality. The cruel hand of death has plucked from our midst one of our finest. We have lost an amazing person whom we have variously known as a colleague, a friend, a relative, a role model, and a mentor. Accordingly, we join the Magoha family here today for the final send-off. We have come here to bid farewell to a fallen national hero. Our departed friend has been the kingpin of this family and an icon for the rest of us. It is most difficult season for the family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, and I join myself with the Magoha family in your mourning. Poleni sana. I have had the privilege to know Professor Magoha from very close. Among other things, I served with him in the last cabinet. He was also the Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi when I was the Minister for Higher Education. And our paths have also met in many other edifying places and ways. In all these, he leaves me with fond memories. I've known Professor Magoha as a most fascinating patriot who loved his country and enjoyed serving it. Professor Magoha loved doing his work. He had no half measures. He put his whole heart and his whole being into everything that he did. And he believed in whatever he did. If he did not believe in it, he did not even begin doing it, ladies and gentlemen. The patriot occupied large space everywhere he went. Those who got to know him well will remember him as the one man who believed in the possibility of a perfect universe. But Professor Magoha did not just believe that a perfect universe was possible. He spent his entire life and energy working towards the realization of this perfect universe. He will be remembered as a spirited go-getter. This focused gentleman did his utmost to rally teams around beliefs and causes. He set out to lead them to achieve the goals, and in the process, Professor Magoha turned out to be an astute administrator and institutional leader. He was an outstanding surgeon and a professional role model. As a scholar, he researched and published widely. He was faithful to the academic credo of his times, publish or perish. As a visionary scholar and leader, his towering dreams have been immortalized in his numerous research papers and in the iconic varsity towers at the University of Nairobi, which he believed was the only university in Kenya. He dedicated tour of duty as cabinet secretary, saw him set out to keep our children in school. He roamed in the villages in the countryside, looking for dropout children and returning them to the classroom. He visited individual homes in the slums and informal settlements to find out why children were not in school. He was at his happiest whenever he tracked down one child and returned them to school. Professor Magoha loved order, industry, and results. Once his eyes were fixed on the final prize, nothing could sway or discourage him. He was especially impatient with laziness and irresponsibility. He could not entertain mediocrity. He would speak plainly when taking to task the lazy and the irresponsible. He especially had no time for avoidable slowness of mind. He did not hesitate to call out the culprits in plain language. I will always remember Professor Magoha as a thought leader, an energetic worker, a frank man who did not know how to mince his words. I will recall him as a compassionate colleague who stood with those around him in difficult times, and as a conciliator who believed in dialogue as the best intervention in cases of conflict. I will remember his focus, great sense of humor, and his attention to sense of occasion too. Such is the kind of person we have come to pay our last respects to, fellow Kenyans. A man who grew to be bigger than the family space could hold, nor could this village hold. Nyanza could not hold him. The game could not hold him, and indeed Kenya could not hold him, and Kenya didn't. Magoha was a citizen of Africa and the entire world. He now belongs to the ages and rests with the sages. We who believe in resurrection and eternity know that he has moved on to everlasting consciousness. We therefore thank God for his life and for the promise of the life to come in the foreseeable future. We thank God for giving to us Professor Magoha and for the privilege of having been a part of this universe in this life. We certainly look forward to meeting him again in resurrection. Meanwhile, Dr. Barbara and the entire Magoha family, I say once again, poleni sana. May God wipe away your tears and sorrow. May he cause you to smile and laugh again. And may Professor George Albert Omore Magoha soul find perfect rest and peace in eternity. Amen. Dated this 11th day of February, the year 2023, William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Waziri Owalo, Eliud Owalo. Thank you. In our program now, we're almost coming to an end. It's my privilege and honor to invite President Uhuru will not believe this. I'll invite my uncle, Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
Thank you. Thank you. This is not good. Danny, this is not good. Hello? Mama Barbara Magoha, my brother President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the clergy, fellow monarchs, hamjambo. We've come to pay tribute and farewell to a great Kenyan. And I want to say without fear of contradiction that right inside that coffin lies a great man. We have come because of the tragedy that has befallen us. Shakespeare said in Julius Caesar that cowards die many times before their death, but the brave do not taste of death but once. So let it be with George. A lot has already been said about George. And I want to basically confirm that everything that has been said about George is true. I came to know George when he was still a young man because his elder brother was spoken here. John Obaretula Udalonyo More. We mokmede moro. These are the people who received me when I came back from Europe, in Nairobi. John, his other late cousin Rangela Odundo, Michael Kinyanyi, Javan Chavanga,